so honored, ladies and gentlemen, to present to you my friend, my brother, the brother who stands tall, who is a champion for people. Put your hands together and welcome the Honorable Richard Thomas.
Thank you, Minister. And thank you all for being here. I know it's a beautiful Saturday night, and we have a lot to be thankful for. Me being another birthday, and necessarily just being able to be here with you. And I wrote a long speech, but I'm not going to say any of it, to be honest with you. I'm just going to speak from my heart. And when I look around and see all the people that decided to come, some people that are working for the city, some people that worked for the city, people that live here, people that come from near and far. I want to thank all of you for being here to celebrate my birthday, but also celebrate. Thank you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Richard. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Yeah. And it's a great birthday. It's number 40, and I like to believe that there are greater birthdays ahead. After looking back at everything that happened over the years, it could have been a lot worse. But it's a great place to be now that we're here with people that have our best interests in mind. Friends and family that will step up in the most tough moments to come make sure that we capture the memories properly. So thank you for that. But in all seriousness, I'm running for mayor again. And that's why we're here. And we're here on the anniversary of when Martin Luther King marched on Washington. And in this moment right now, I feel though is very much like when Dr. Martin Luther King was going to march to Montgomery from Selma. But if you recall the story of when he went to go and march to Montgomery, before he crossed that Edmund Pettus Bridge, he stopped. He stopped and said, wait a minute, let me look out ahead. Something's not right. He stopped and he had a good crowd with him. But he looked back and he looked ahead and said, there's a trap forward. Wow. We gotta step back, regroup, and reorganize. Because if we go forward now, they're gonna close us in, and on that 60-mile journey to Montgomery, we're gonna have a hard time making it all the way. So what he decided to do was to step back and say to everybody, ask somebody else to get involved. Ask somebody to help us. There's a person named Michael Schwerner from Pelham, a freedom rider. The bridge going from Mount Vernon to Pelham is named after him. Because he was a freedom rider that was killed by the KKK for responding to a call by MLK to come and help organize and get people to register to vote in the South. So when you think about the history, the legacy, the struggle of how far we've come, we got to know that we still have further to go. And as we go forward, we got to know that after seeing everything that we saw happen here in Mount Vernon, all of the lies about there's nothing wrong with the money, all the lies about there was no dumping at Memorial Field, all of the things that held us back, all the bridges didn't need to be fixed even though they were closed for 2 decades. It took a fight like hell to get the bridges replaced at almost no money, almost at no cost to Mount Vernon. It was about $100 million worth of work for $5 million from Mount Vernon. I think that's a good deal. Getting Memorial Field moving, thanks to the county, they got it going. But if I had my way, it would have been a lot bigger. It would have been a lot better. It would have had a dome. But look, we'll be thankful and grateful for what we have coming. But what I will say is, in looking ahead, I'm optimistic. Even though Mount Vernon has been let down, recently taxes were increased by 30% by the administration. You gotta axe the tax. We gotta axe the tax. Axe the Patterson Howard tax. 30%. 30%. Axe the tax. Axe the tax.
Axe the tax.
Axe the tax. And what makes it really crazy is it's for things that are unexplained. And when you look at the police department was doing a tremendous job when I was mayor. And in fact, in the year 2019, for the first time in statistical history, no one died by a handgun in Mount Vernon. And that was against all odds. The police department was badly beaten up when I took over, but we fought with them and built a relationship with the community. And now today, everything that we worked for was dismantled by this administration. Even right now, there's private security running City Fest. Can you believe that? Private security. How can you have private security provide security to a city? It's not only a shame, but it's a liability. If something were to go wrong, God forbid, I mean, this administration is literally working to hurt Mount Vernon. You see it in the taxes, you see it in their treatment of our police, you see it in the treatment of us. And that's why I said enough is enough.
Yes, sir.
I can't run from Mount Vernon. I have kids that I'm raising here, my family's here. You cut me open, I bleed maroon and gold. But I'm telling you that Mount Vernon has so much more to do. And what they've done to set us back is to position us for our comeback. Every step of the way we've been ready, we've been right, we've been correct about there's issues with the money, there's issues with the violence, but we solved all of that. Mount Vernon had some great days, and I'm looking forward to bringing those great days back. Now, I know that this campaign is going to be complicated. It's going to be tough. But we have some tough people here, some residents here. We have a lot of people that have been through the fire with me, thank you. But I do want you to know that it will be difficult. And that's where we're going to have this grassroots effort. An effort like never before to make sure that we give Mount Vernon back to the people of Mount Vernon. Because I don't know one person that benefits from a 30% tax hike. I don't know one person. Right. The top salaries of all the people in the administration were increased. And you got what for it? 30% tax increase. More crime. I drove by Petrillo Plaza the other day, and I didn't recognize it. I did not recognize a place that was home to Fresh Market, a market that I created to give away fresh produce on a weekly basis so people don't, have to be hungry. But now it's a place that is just totally overrun by all sorts of problems and garbage, and it's not right. It's disrespectful to the people of Mount Vernon, and especially since we have a 30% tax hike. I can't believe it. But what I do know is that Mount Vernon has a lot to offer. A lot to offer our residents, a lot to offer our friends, a lot to offer our families. And we need to make Mount Vernon family friendly again. And one of the things that I've noticed is that entrenched politicians have been preying on Mount Vernon for many years to keep her down. And my surprise election back in 2016 gave me a 77% mandate to clean out the corruption, clean out the incompetence. And it created a big problem for the corrupt political establishment. Their solution was not to do the right thing for the people. Their solution was to not clean up their act. What they did was to attack me because I was protecting you. And now the truth is out. Before Breonna Taylor, before George Floyd, before all of it was popular to be woke, I was here saying, look, we got to solve our problems. We got to build a relationship with our police in a meaningful way. And we did. 2019 proves it. 2019 showed nobody died by a handgun. Why? Because the police were respected and they respected the people. And now today that respect has been diminished. It's been dismantled by this administration. And all we have to show for it is higher taxes, a dirty city, a dangerous city. So, and terrible roads. Man, I'm glad you reminded me about those potholes. They're craters swallowing. But, you know, if you elect me as mayor, I'll do everything I can in my power to redeem. When you elect me as mayor, not if, when. You elect me as mayor, we'll redeem the Thomas Promise. The Thomas Promise from Mount Vernon. The Thomas Promise is a platform of first making the city safe. We have to secure our city. We have to rebuild the police department. We have to rebuild. Clap for that. We have to rebuild our public works department. We have to make sure they have everything they need to stop these floods in the basement. We have to overhaul the buildings department.
Oh, yes.
We need to process these permits quickly.
Come on, Mayor.
When I was in office again,
Yes, sir. You did.
we had permits processed in a day,
That's right. That's true.
but that took a little bit of preparation. Meaning, you know, whatever contractor you are, you had to have all your stuff ready. Your T's crossed, your I's dotted. But you know that you got it done in a day.
That's right.
And if it wasn't done that day, you got it done in 8 days. Because my challenge and my mandate to the building department was, look, God created Earth in 6 days. He took a break on 7. So if you can't process a permit in 8 days, you don't belong here. And that mentality, that mindset, helped make sure that permits were processed responsibly and people were held accountable for not doing their job. Today, the building department is closed 3 days a week from what I'm told. It's closed. It's a question of how does Kenny Plummer get his permits that was asked. I don't know. Oh my goodness. But what I do know is that I know that if the Thomas Promise is you put in a permit, you're going to get it processed. The other part is we're going to axe the tax. We already said that. We know that. We're going to axe that 30% tax. Axe the Patterson-Howard tax. It's ridiculous. And I can tell you it's ridiculous because the cost to dispose waste in Westchester County did not increase. So how come we have to pay an extra fee to dispose of our waste? How come we have to pay an extra fee for even our water? And the water department, what a disgrace. What a disgrace. The water department was broken into. They got no footage, no film, thousands. We don't know how much money's missing, but we also don't know how much personal information is missing. And this is where you have to ask yourself, all this rhetoric on Facebook, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. She promised safety and delivered danger. And these broken promises is what has cost us dearly. And it sold us out. And that was my biggest concern. And I get it, money power.
Can I ask a question?
Question, go for it.
Are your photo ops going to be as good as hers?
My photo ops are all about results, not rhetoric. The Thomas Promise is delivered.
And guess what? You delivered.
And that is true. And when you think about our kids, delivering for our kids from Slide the City to the circus, to these weekly events in the community where nobody was hurt. We had thousands of people gather at Hutch Field, for example. We did not have to have too much private security. We had private security at the event, but not police in our streets. Our police policed our streets.
Yes. Right.
We didn't have to, call on all this, renegade style. No, this is not the Wild West. This is Mount Vernon. No need for street generals. We had lieutenants and captains. We had respected police that respected the community and backwards and forwards. And I can tell you that safety is going to come back. Because everybody's going to respect the police and we're going to build the department. But talking about our kids, and I'm going to wrap this up in a few moments, but I just want to take a pause for a moment. We lost one of our daughters recently, in Kayla Green. She was being bullied in school. It got out of control.
Yes, sir.
Literally out of control. Why? Because there was nobody there to disrupt that demonic energy. And I call it demonic because there's no reason for children to have that much hate and go after each other. There's no reason for it. There's no excuse.
No safety police officers. No safety police officers.
The school resource officers were removed from the schools.
Talk about it, brother.
The school resource officers were paid for by activities within the police department. It didn't cost us anything to do that program.
That's right.
And I want to share that because the current administration went on record numerous times saying they don't want to pay the $1.2 million to have the police act as resource officers within our schools. You can't put a price on life.
No, sir.
You just can't. And the resource officers did a great job at making sure our kids had confidence. They had a great role model to look up to, but also they had somebody to connect them to resources outside of the school, like small businesses, which we will support. And I was talking to a small business earlier today when I was getting my tire fixed. And they said, I would love to, teach mechanics to some of the kids that are on the bubble. Teach them trades. And when I look back at that and say, who would be the perfect person to make that connection? The resource officer.
That's right.
Once they knew these are the businesses in the community that would open their doors for a few hours a week to have a young person come in, boy or girl, get some training, earn a little coin, honestly, but really get some character. These are the things that happen but are not possible anymore. You can't disrupt that beef that's, overflowing if it's not there. Right. So, unfortunately, we had a scenario where it got out of control and we lost a beautiful daughter, Kayla.
Yes.
And now we have a scenario where we have an opportunity to restore our police officers back into the schools to be resource officers again. And that's what we need. But we also need them to be ready to take another step with our fire department and open it up to other departments like Public Works or even Recreation if they do the training. And there's going to be a lot of people fired in the Recreation Department for the type of job they've been doing with the seniors in our community, not protecting them. I just want to make that clear.
Come on, man.
But we need our own ambulance service.
About it, brother.
That was something, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I was not a fan of it until I realized how money really has driven this situation. Money drove people and services away from our community, which is wrong. But you can't put a price on life. And if we had our own ambulance service, we have a private ambulance, and again, they do a good job, but for years they were not paid, putting all of us at risk, and we saw it on display here with Kayla. We saw it on display. For years of them not being paid, they basically said, look, we're going to cover you, but we're going to be, a few minutes away, not as fast as we should be. But it's, again, I'm not too critical of them because I understand. If you're not getting paid, you don't want to be there. I get it. But the reality is we need our own. We need to train our police officers, our firefighters, and open it up to other city workers. So when they're working or when they have their day off, they could be a paramedic a part of Mount Vernon's own ambulance corps, and I'd like to nickname it, with Kayla's family's permission, Kayla's Corps. This way, and that's why those bridges were reopened, because the fire department and the ambulances could not drive across the 6th Avenue Bridge. They had to go all the way up to Lincoln and then come back down. And that's time lost. So having all these bridges replaced saved lives. But I'm telling you, we're gonna come back and we're gonna stop these basement floods. I know you've been seeing it all over TikTok and Twitter and Facebook of the streets flooding, literally flooding from a rainstorm, not necessarily a big hurricane, just a regular rainstorm. And you got cars being destroyed, basements flooded, and if that happens multiple times a year, there goes Christmas. Your insurance company's gonna be like, we don't want to pay the next one. So then you get stuck with mold in your house and you have a health issue. And then you got, DPW completely gutted, and you have to ask yourself, how come? Why are we so, we pay the most in taxes among all the cities in the county, but we can't have the best first-class service from City Hall. We had it before. I promise, when I become mayor again, you're going to get it back.
The time is promised.
The time is promised. Now, the final 3 things I'm going to say about the time is promised is, not only will we end these potholes with smooth streets and flat sidewalks, not only will we bring fun back and do City Fest right and have concerts,
Say it again.
not only will we bring fun back and do City Fest right, I don't know if you know this, but there was no power for City Fest until 3:30 this afternoon.
Wow.
Can you believe that? On top of there being secret, security guards walking around telling the police what to do.
The police.
How can you have flashlight cops come into a city telling the police what to do?
Oh
My God.
For 2 years we out of City Fest and they brought a little dinky rinky stage.
A tiny stage.
What? Really?
Well, look, I will restart the Charter Revision Commission.
Thank you.
Now, I want to remind everybody that I put that in place for the specific purpose of adding transparency to City Hall and making City Hall more accountable to you. And when it got on the ballot after a year of, obstruction by political interests, 94% of the residents of Mount Vernon voted for it. We had over 11,000 people vote to change the charter. Thank you for coming. Come on in. And when you look at that decision, over 11,000 people voted for it.
Yes.
That is what prompted the city controller, the new city controller who I helped elect, Darren Morton.
Yes.
He was legally obligated to disclose the city's finances. And that is the first time we've heard about Mount Vernon's finances in over 15 years.
Wow. Look, they heard you. Emergency sewer division.
There you go. We're gonna fix those sewers. I'm telling you fast, but I'm telling you the sewers is another point of contention for me. But I will address that in a moment.
And you've been fighting for that for years. Yeah.
But the other thing that I've been fighting for is parking.
Yeah.
We have no place to park.
Nope.
And we get tickets because we park in front of our homes. It's like, you're renting an apartment or you're paying your mortgage, and then you have to pay another mortgage for your parking spot outside. It shouldn't be that way.
Exactly. Come on.
We should have proper places to park, and our businesses should be able to count on us to provide adequate parking. 4th Avenue is dying a very slow death because there's no place to park.
It's already there. Revitalize Fifth Avenue.
We have a plan to fix Mount Vernon, a full comprehensive plan.
Yes, sir. I believe it. There you go.
And that's my promise.
Thomas promise.
And you're going to hear about that plan over the course of these next 9 months as we get closer and closer to June of 2023. They're going to copy the plan. They're going to do their best to say that they came up with it first.
Yeah.
But they don't have any original ideas.
No, sir.
If they had any original ideas, it would have been done already. And if they had any original ideas, we would have seen it. We would have seen something done.
Come on, man.
The only thing we've seen done is that they paid themselves, they've enriched themselves, and they've made us more poor. They raised taxes by 30%. It is ridiculous. The incompetence is unacceptable. And that's the biggest question. What are they doing with the money? But what I do know is that Mount Vernon deserves to be free. Have a free future, a future that is, focused on helping our families, focused on making Mount Vernon, a retirement community. And what I mean by that is the place where you can age in place and not have to, go to Florida. Florida's nice, but you should be able to stay here and have the best of all worlds, from being able to walk to some of the greatest restaurants, some of the greatest foods. We have the greatest culture, we have the greatest people. But when the building department doesn't work, and I saw this earlier today, that made my heart break. One of our best restaurants is still waiting for their business permit. Ripe. Nigel.
Yeah.
Nigel beat Bobby Flay. He beat Bobby Flay, one of the world's best, chefs.
Yeah, but he might be SBH.
He didn't beat SBH. He didn't beat the Patterson Howard tax. He didn't beat this building department. He's still closed after having a fire in May of 2020.
Come on, man.
He's been waiting for his permit to fix his restaurant that was a world-renowned restaurant.
Yes, sir. Blame it on COVID.
You can't blame it on COVID. You can't.
COVID is like that.
And this is where I'm optimistic and I'm hopeful that the people see that we've been hoodwinked. We've been sold a whole bunch of hogwash.
You were showcased in the New York Times with your success, remember?
And I was reminded of the New York Times highlighting Mount Vernon as one of the best kept secrets in all of Westchester County.
Yes. I bet you that Papa Spencer got it from here. I see that.
So what I can tell you is,
Stoplights are broken.
I need your help.
Yes, you got it, man.
I need your help.
You got it.
Mount Vernon needs your help.
Yes.
It needs you, the people. And as we're here today, I know that it took a lot for you to be here. It's a beautiful Saturday evening.
Yes. We love you, brother.
Thank you, and I love you back. But the key thing is, as we go forward, we got to know that it's going to be a real tough fight. There are going to be a lot of things said. Some of it may be true, but when you keep it in context, you look at your taxes, you look at the safety, how dangerous Mount Vernon has become.
Yes.
You look at the conditions of our community being ashamed, the filth, the garbage piling up.
Bring back the old Mount Vernon. Right.
We got to bring back the Mount Vernon that loved you back. And I want to be here. I want to raise my family here. I don't want to run from my hometown.
No, sir.
There's no reason to.
We'll take you to Jamaica and beat you.
But we need you to help us get organized. The same way Dr. Martin Luther King stopped and said, wait a minute. Before we cross this bridge, we need a movement.
Right.
We need you to help us organize, from meet and greets, phone banking, Instagram meetings, clubhouse, stop and shake, barbershops. We need boots on the ground people to pull us in and invite us all over the community to say, look, we hear you. We see the issues. We understand the issues. We have a plan to fix all the issues. We did it before.
That's right.
Now we got to do it again.
That's right. Come on.
The time is promised. Let's do it again.
Do it again. You've done it before, brother.
And when we do it again, this is for keeps. This is for keeps. Because part of the reason why I'm running is because this is one of the only moments in Mount Vernon's history where we have a real chance to break the generational curse.
Yes.
The generational curse of dirty politics.
There you go.
toxic politics. And we have a chance to leave it behind and build anew.
Give it to the people competent in positions.
So as we give Mount Vernon back to the people,
Yes.
I'm asking for your help, I'm asking for your vote, I'm asking for your time, I'm asking for your ideas. And I want you to know that as we go on this journey, it's going to be worth it. Because you're going to be safe, you're going to have an affordable place to be, and it's going to be fun. We're going to axe the tax, but more importantly, we're going to make Mount Vernon what it has always said it was. We're going to make it a city of happy homes again. My name is Rich Thomas. I'm running for mayor. I'm looking forward to your support. Thank you.
Axe the tax.
Group hug, group hug.